guys, it's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past week or so. We do have so much to discuss. Firstly, huge Marcus Rashford update. He is the only and likely signing that Barcelona will make, and it looks like this signing will be going to deadline day next week. It has some big exit updates around Ansu Fati, Christensen. 3 Barcelona B team players have been sold and moved on as well. Other players features as well, like Pablo Torre, Garcia, Pau Victor will be talked about as well. Huge, and I mean huge renewal updates on Gerard Martin, Araujo, Pedri, Gavi, all done and sealed, and Barcelona making great moves to renew also Frenkie, Jong, and Raphinha. Deco is doing an absolute mad list with player renewals, and we have updates on that. We have huge updates as well on the stadium, where we're going to be playing those Clasico and big Champions League semifinals. Of course, if we do qualify, we have big updates around that when the Spotlight Camp Nou will be active. And finally, big registration update on Dani Olmo as well. Don't forget, the case is not over yet. La Liga are building their case to go up against Barcelona in court, and Javier Tebas has said that he is very confident he can revoke the registration of Dani Olmo. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below, and let's try and get to 200 likes on this video. It would be very much appreciated. And also, if you are new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, before we get into this video is sponsored by Number One Foot. Number One Foot is by far the best replica jersey website on the market, and it's not even close. They have a variety of different items at the absolute best prices. They sent me 2 kits recently. First one is the retro Barcelona kit, the home kit, which I'm currently wearing right now, and also as well the second kit for that season in the blue edition. Oh my god, like, the stitching is fantastic, the quality is, superb. Feels like I have the actual, original kit for a fraction of the price. And if you use the discount code BOY at checkout, you do get 10% off your order. That's BOY. Use it at checkout, and all orders above $80 as well will receive free shipping. So what are you waiting for? Hit the top link in the description down below and get your new football kits today. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past week or so. First, we're going to be discussing the only player that Barcelona will sign in the next few days, in the final few days of the winter transfer window, and that is Marcus Rashford. We do have some updates on his situation. First, Mateo Marito has come out saying that right now Marcus Rashford has 2 clear options, and the third is more uncertain. First, his preferred choice joining Barcelona, but the club needs to offload 1 or 2 players to facilitate the move. Second, he stays at United if no alternative option works out. Third, another option is Borussia Dortmund, but Rashford does not prefer this move, and the club is unlikely to meet the requirement fee that United want. Barcelona and Rashford will meet soon to decide if he should wait or if they should move on. Now, David Ornstein, number 1 source in the world, especially in the UK, came out saying that Rashford is open to leaving United for a suitable offer, with Barcelona being his preferred destination, but the move hinges on the Spanish club's economic situation, leaving the transfer saga to unfold until the transfer window deadline day. Tony Martin then followed this by saying that Barcelona had a meeting with Rashford representatives before the match against Benfica last week, and both sides in this meeting confirmed their intentions are the same to, of course, make this transfer a reality. He also mentioned that this is his opinion of Tony Martin, the Rashford signing is a thing of timing. It depends on when or if Eric Garcia leaves or anyone else leaves, which is a possibility, and Marcus Rashford does not want to wait much longer. It's of course been a week since this, and Rashford is still waiting, so they're going to be waiting at some point. Now, also Deco talked about this before the match against Benfica as well. He was asked on Rashford, saying, look, we're fully focused on new contracts right now, renewals, then we can think about bringing in other reinforcements that would also be welcomed as well. The coach is very happy with the squad that we have, so any future decisions will be later. He's basically saying, I'll focus on renewals, reinforcements will come another time, and Flick said he's very happy with the squad, and that is of course correct. And finally, here we have a report from Fernando Polo and Roger from Deportivo. They came out saying that after meeting with the player's agent in Lisbon, it became clear that Rashford is eager to play for Barcelona, even if it's only on loan until June. The player is willing to take a pay cut, with no players willing to leave the club. Knows that the deal isn't in their hands. For this move to happen, not only would Rashford have to give up part of his salary, but Manchester United would need to agree to cover at least half his wages, and Barcelona believe that Hansi Flick could help Rashford return to his best form. Following this, David Ornstein came out saying that Rashford Barcelona is possible. It would be worked upon, but obviously doesn't mean it will happen. Barca is Rashford's preferred option, and United would like for a team to take over all of his wages for the season. His situation can go towards deadline day. Here's where we're currently at. No one is leaving Barcelona. Spoiler alert for the rest of the video. We're in a point now where we need to do a Joao Felix wage 2.0. What did we do last season for the Joao Felix loan? We paid him 600,000 euros salary for the course of the year, which is like 3,000 euros a week, something like that. Rashford right now is earning 300,000 euros a week at United. What Barcelona have to do is firstly agree with United to pay half his wages, which comes out to 150,000 euros per week for, of course, 6 months. Then they go to Rashford and say, look, we agreed with United to pay you 150k a week for the 6-month loan. You need to reduce that yourself and bring that down to, like, say, 50k a week. So this deal is possible without exit, but it makes it very difficult because first they have to agree a fee with United. Then they have to go to Rashford and say, look, we're going to have to pay you next to nothing for you to come. In the end, the deal is possible without an exit, but it is harder, of course. Everything is easier with an exit. Wait and see. Like I told you guys 2 weeks ago, and I'll say it again, this is going to be a deadline day saga when everyone is desperate on Rashford and United side, because Barcelona are chilling. They're like, you know what? We get Rashford, cool. If not, we're chilling. Flick's happy with the squad. The squad is banging goals, 7-1s and 5-4s. We're chilling. Rashford is trying to get the hell out of there. United want to get rid of him as soon as possible. I'm seeing United fans saying we'd rather let him go and pay all of his wages than keep him. Because if you look at United's perspective, if Rashford stays on 300,000 euros per week, he's not going to play. But if he goes to Barcelona and they pay him, let's say, 200,000 euros a week, at least he's out of there making up his market value, playing and doing something rather than just staying in Manchester, getting pissed every weekend, drunk and doing nothing. So that's United's perspective. So that, of course, will play a huge effect once we hit the last, I would say, 12 hours of the transfer window. So wait and see on Rashford is definitely still a possibility for sure. To be honest, I don't think the deal is that difficult to complete. I think really just comes down to United biting the bullet and saying, you know what, we'll pay most of his money. You can have him, just take him and get him the hell out of here. I think Rashford will definitely comply with whatever Barcelona tells him. It's really coming down to Manchester United themselves. So wait and see how things do develop. Now, a player that Barcelona are showing some strong interest in is the German midfielder Jamal Musiala. Now, David Bernabeu from Sport came out saying that Jamal Musiala is on Barcelona's agenda for next summer. Hansi Flick dreams of having him in the squad for next season. For the player's part, Musiala has a special sympathy for Barcelona, and the club is aware that it will be difficult, but they'll try. This is nothing short of bullshit. You tell me you have Gavi, Fermin, Pedri, Pablo Torre, Frenkie, Casado, Bernal, all these world-class midfielders, and you want to bring in more. Unless you're selling Gavi, which sure is not going to happen. Unless you're selling Pedri, which is not going to happen. Unless you're selling Fermin Lopez, which is not going to happen. Unless you're selling, I forgot to even mention, but Dani Olmo. This deal is not happening. Fantastic player, definitely the quality of Barcelona, great player. I'm sure the club loves him alongside Flick. We have too many midfielders already. Why are we gonna bust our balls and probably bust out 80 to 100 million euros to sign Musiala, where you already have 3 world-class players in that position already and 1 on the come up for Fermin Lopez? It makes no sense. Jamal Musiala and Verts, I think, go out the window with the signing of Dani Olmo last summer. Maybe in the future when they're 38, 28, 29 on a free deal and Dani Olmo is done at Barcelona, sure. But for the imminent future, it just makes no sense whatsoever. None. It's like you having Messi, Neymar, Suarez, and you want to sign Hazard for your left wing back in 2017, for example. Just makes no sense. So you can do it, you can ball out, have 5,000 world-class players. They'll get upset. It's going to be a, expensive operation. Makes zero sense whatsoever. I don't think this deal will happen. I think it would be absolutely idiotic for Barcelona to do this deal. I think the interest is there. I don't think Barcelona will actually pursue him. But if they do, it'll be a calamity of errors. Now, a player that Barcelona almost signed last summer, but the transfer did not materialize in the end, was Diego Carlos of Aston Villa, now, of course, at Fenerbahce. Joaquin Pereira from Sport, of course, #1 source for Brazilian players, and Barcelona came out saying that Flick had requested the signing of an experienced defender in the summer, due to which the club then tried to sign Diego Carlos. The player was excited to join, but due to FFP restrictions, the move was discarded. Of course, the experienced defender now for Flick was Inigo Martinez, but before that, he wanted to have someone experienced, and then, of course, Deco with his Brazilian Brazilian connections, brought the name of Diego Carlos up. The club looked at it, tried to do the deal, and then didn't happen. I believe now he left Villa to go on loan to Fenerbahce for the rest of the season. So maybe keep your eyes on him in the future if we do have some crazy turnarounds in the center back position. But again, Barcelona did show some interest in Diego Carlos last summer. Let's now discuss the players that have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past week. First up is, of course, the most outside player of the Barcelona players right now, Ansu Fati. We have a lot of updates on his future. We're going to roll through this very quickly. Firstly, Mundo Deportivo came out saying that it's entirely up to Ansu Fati to decide what he wants to do now. The club would respect whatever decision he makes, and Ansu was firm about staying, but remains to be seen if he feels the same way if he keeps being left out of the squad. At the same time, Barcelona knows they can't make room in their salary budget to sign new players this month unless at least a player to leave. Fabrizio Romano came out saying that Barcelona are open to letting Ansu Fati leave immediately. On the other hand, Ansu Fati still has his big desire to succeed at Barcelona. He's still not convinced on leaving, and of course, with a few weeks left in the window, anything can happen. Fernando Polo also came out saying that Ansu Fati still believes his potential and prefers to stay with the team despite being overlooked by Flick this year. Though the player is not in a good moment right now, he's confident he can turn things around during the season. Ansu was also assured by Flick's promise to treat him like any other player in the squad if he stays. As of now, Ansu's priority is to remain at Barcelona. Don't forget, after the Valencia game, Flick did confirm that Ansu wants to stay, and he's very happy with Ansu Fati staying as well, so he will not be forced out. Now, before the match against Benfica as well, the club, Deco and Laporta did have a meeting with Ansu Fati's agent Jorge Mendes, and they did, of course, discuss his future alongside Lamine Yamal's renewal as well. So there were, of course, internal discussions to discuss the future of Ansu, whether it be in this window or in the summer window as well. Fernando Polo also came out saying that Ansu Fati, despite being left out of Barcelona's squad for 4 consecutive games, is determined to stay until the end of this summer and prove himself. He had talks with the coach Hansi Flick, who encouraged him to play with more confidence and self-assurance and to lose his fear of failure. Ansu is committed to improving his performances and making the most of his chances. Catalunya Radio came out saying that Barcelona's sporting area and the coaching staff are insisting on Ansu Fati to leave. Even the players' camp wants him to go out on loan, but Fati continues to stick with his desire to stay as things stand. And finally, Marca came out saying that Hansi Flick has already informed Ansu Fati that there is a lot of competition in the attack and that he expects more from him. But despite talks, Ansu Fati wants to stay. He believes he can gain promise. He does not want to give up on his desire to succeed at Barcelona. So, there is this forward for Bayern Munich. His name is Matthias Till. A great young forward on the come up. I think Bayern Munich bought him for like 50 million from the French league. I forget which club, Lille or Nice or something like that. Anyways, there's been a lot of interest for him over the past 2 summers, Chelsea and other big clubs. Chelsea came in from at the beginning of January, and Till said, no, I want to stay. I want to succeed at Bayern. He's not been playing at Bayern, and just the other day, he said to Bayern Munich, I want to leave, which came as a surprise. That's what's pretty much needed here for Ansu Fati. He's been saying no for about a month and a half now. Only a last-second change will change things. I will say this. If Barcelona reach an agreement to sign Rashford without the sale of Ansu Fati, I think that Ansu Fati may walk. He's cooked. I mean, the guy just cannot. I mean, he just can't stay fit to save his life. He's had 2 huge, monumental opportunities to make a huge impact on this team this season. Got injured both times. It says enough really about his future. I mean, what can you do? I think, like I said, if Rashford is agreed upon without Ansu Fati's fail, it might push him out. We might get even Ansu Fati wants to leave last second after not being in a few squad lists, not getting minutes. But what's in the media is quite clear that he wants to succeed at the club. I respect the ambition. I respect and love his love for the club. But, buddy, it ain't gonna happen. I mean, unless I can... It's very impossible right now for Ansu Fati to have any chance at Barcelona. The number 10 is going to Lamine Yamal next season. I'll tell you that right now for free. So we'll wait and see what happens. Again, Ansu Fati is still refusing to leave, but he can definitely change his mind like Matthias Till did for Bayern Munich at any moment. Make a loan move. Rashford can come in, no problem. So we'll wait and see. But Ansu Fati right now remains adamant of his continuation at Barcelona. Now, a player who's as injury prone as Ansu Fati, who was actually thinking about leaving Barcelona in the final few days of the transfer window, was Andreas Christensen. But guess what? He got injured as well. Now, Ronald came out and said that Andreas Christensen will consider a possible departure if he does not get as many minutes as he wants this season in the summer. There are also reports, I think, from Catalunya Radio that came out, he's going to think about leaving in January as well if a good offer comes in. Got injured, out for a month. You got to get rid in the summer. I think Christensen is a fantastic player. I think he's definitely of the quality of Barcelona. I would love to keep him at the club, but the guy is just a pure and utter liability. If you can sell him for around 40 million this summer, he's going to be coming into this summer with, I believe, 1 year left on this contract. I think his contract runs out in 2026, signing a 4-year deal back in 2022. So this summer, you get 30-40 million for him. You take it and run, knowing Barcelona will probably sell him for about 20 and get absolutely scanned. But at this point, he just can't stay fit. Get rid of him, send him back to the Premier League. I love Christensen. Shout out for that. First season, the double season under Xavi was fantastic. Last season, he was injured. And this season, he's freaking injured. So he only played 1 out of 3 seasons with Barcelona, pretty much. It sucks. And we already knew this when we signed him as well, but he was on our free, so that's why we took the gamble. We got the good year out of him, and after that, we haven't seen the same since. So hopefully the club can get the best deal possible for Christensen. I think very, very likely he will leave, especially with Araujo staying, maybe Todd coming in. You have, of course, Eric Garcia, who's doing well. You have Inigo, you have Garcia. There's no need for Christensen, so he will most likely leave the club this summer. Now, you center back that Barcelona did actually sell this past summer and are now looking to bank a couple more bucks from his signing is, of course, Mikayil Faye. Now, Fabrizio Romano came out saying that Bayern Leverkusen made contact for Mikayil Faye, of whom Barcelona have a 30% sell-on clause as one of his 3 candidates in the center-back position, and now all depends on Rennes' position. Foot Mercado from Santiona also came out saying that Valle is in talks to sign Mikayil Faye from Rennes, and they have already contacted the player, and again, Barcelona hold 30% of any future sale. Now, he won't be going to Bayern Leverkusen anymore. They went and signed Mario Hermoso from Roma, but he could maybe make a move for Valle, we'll see. But anyways, the interest is there. He is doing quite well with Rennes, and again, keep your eyes on his future, as Barcelona do hold 30% of any future sale. Now, a player that is attracting some interest from other clubs is Ferran Torres. Gazzetta dello Sport in Italy came out saying that AC Milan are interested in signing Ferran Torres on loan this window, and Mundo Deportivo also confirmed this. But since then, I believe AC Milan used their one signing spot to sign Kyle Walker, so that's not going to happen anymore. But keep your eyes on Ferran Torres' future in the future. I think in the summer, his decision will be very, very interesting. Of course, he has a contract until 2026 as well, so it's either renew or sell him this summer. Good squad, I mean, I wouldn't say good, useful squad player. I think really what happens in the striker position will dictate Ferran Torres' future. If we sign a striker, he might go. If we don't sign a striker, he might stay. Of course, he can play on the wings and all this stuff, but he's a player that Barcelona, of course, invested a lot in when we were dirt broke at the time. So we'll wait and see what happens with his future. Again, he's very useful to the squad right now. His numbers are decent, despite, on the eye sometimes he's not that great. Flick loves him, so we'll wait and see what happens with his future. I think right now it does, of course, favor a bit of the side of staying at Barcelona than leaving it anytime soon. Now, along the same page, there are, of course, clubs showing interest for Vitor Roque this summer as well. Joaquin Pereira from The Sport came out saying that Palmeiras have made an offer of 27 million euros to Barcelona for 80% of Vitor Roque's rights. The Brazilian club will try to sign him this winter, and if not possible, then in the summer. Palmeiras have the funds for the deal after selling Vitor to Man City this January for 40 million euros. Now, Betis have a buy option this summer of 28 million euros for 80% of Vitor Roque's rights. So they have offered a million less, you could say, but of course that's only a buy option for Betis, where this one they made the offer, they want him right now. So looks like we're going to get a sale for Vitor Roque this summer, which of course is going to be very, very good for us. I think he has no future at the club. He hasn't really struck the world of light at Betis. He's done all right. Not something that I would bend over backwards for to bring him back. Plus, his attitude towards Barcelona in the past 6 months has been disgusting, in my opinion, of course. So, Bank, we bought him for 30, sell him for 28. I think that's a great move and great business by Barcelona. Buying a player and selling him for profit, if not more, is beyond difficult, especially for a club like Barcelona. So getting somewhere near that is fantastic. Again, people say that we bought Vitor Roque for 60 million. That is absolutely false. It was 30 million plus 30 in add-ons, and none of those add-ons have been accomplished. So selling him for around 27 to 30 would be great, which will probably be the case this summer. Some good money coming in, so you can guarantee around 30 million for Vitor Roque this summer, maybe about 20 for Christensen. So you're already having about 50 million guaranteed there in sales, maybe 10 to 15 for Eric Garcia, another 10 to 15 for Ansu Fati. We could be making some proper bank at departures this summer, so we'll see how things do turn out. But again, Vitor Roque's future far away from Barcelona's first team, and it does have, of course, some good interest for the summer transfer window. Now, a player that will probably leave the club this summer if his current situation does not change is the future of Inaki Pena. Catalonia Radio came out saying that there are players in the Barcelona dressing room that would prefer Inaki Pena to start as the goalkeeper. Inaki Pena feels touched and disconnected after being relegated to the bench at Barcelona, and there are no sporting arguments in Hansi Flick's explanation. He has only a contract until 2026, and a renewal right now looks very unlikely. First of all, why is he he's been the number 2 for about 3 or 4 years now. Why are you crying? You've been wank. Yes, you've had a couple of good saves here and there, a couple of good moments I can think of on the top of my head. I can probably count on 1 or 2 hands. But being the Barcelona first choice goalkeeper is all about consistency. Has Chelsea shown it? Not really, but he's got 5 out of 5 wins. He's done alright, which is of course better than what Inaki Pena has done. But I think all this crying from the Barca players and him himself is crazy. I don't know if you guys have seen. Make sure you follow my Twitter, BarcaBoy103. There was a video of Lian Thuram coming to the Barcelona first team and teaching them about how to deal with racism and the racism around football, stuff like that. And the whole dressing room was sitting in the conference room. Everyone's sitting together, of course. You have Inaki Pena sitting in the corner looking like he's about to kill himself. I'm like, yo, man the frig up. This is Football Club Barcelona. Nothing is guaranteed for any player whatsoever. This man's like, the whole team is like joking and bantering before Liam Thuram of course comes in. You have like Araujo and Raphinha and Dani Olmo sitting in the front, Pedri and Ter Stegen and everyone else sitting in the middle, Fermin Lopez off the right hand side with like Gerard Martin. Then you have on the left hand side sitting alone, leaning against the wall like this. Lock the Frenkie, lock the hell in, man. What is this? I mean, I'd bid him. I really would. But wait, see what happens with this future in the summer. If he stays like this and does not get any more minutes from now to the end of the season, his renewal will be difficult, which means that the sale will be very, very likely. Now, I did mention earlier, of course, Barcelona working on sales for the summer, like Vitor Roque, Christensen, and Ansu Fati may be earning 70 million plus on those sales. But Barcelona have already started off on those sales with B team players. 2 B team players, very high profile B team players, have left Barcelona over the past 24 hours. The first one is the captain of Barca Athletic, Unai Hernandez. He has gone to Al Ittihad in Saudi Arabia for a fee of 5 million euros plus add-ons, which could reach, I think, 6 million euros in total. The deal is done. We got the here we go from Fabrizio Romano, and who's of course the Al Ittihad sporting director. It is of course the former sporting director of Barcelona, Ramon Planas. He has come in and swooped up the captain. Seen a lot of people be upset about this. To be honest, I think selling a player for 5 million that hasn't even touched the first team of Barcelona is fantastic deal. Look at Mikayil Faye, did not play a single minute for the first team last season. We sold him for 10 million. Unai Hernandez for 5 million. I think this is overall a good deal. I think Unai Hernandez is a very talented player, just can't really break into the first team, and he also felt that as well. That's why he left. He also only had 6 months left on his contract as well. So 5 million for a player with 6 months left on his deal, did not even touch the first team of Barcelona. I think overall for Barcelona, Al Ittihad, and Unai Hernandez, it's a great deal all around. So he has left the club. He's going to be doing his journey in Saudi Arabia. So congrats to him, and hopefully wish him all the best of success. Good little money coming in for Barcelona as well. But another player has also left, and that is Pau Prim. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that he has joined the Qatari side, Al Sadd, which of course is the former side of Xavi Hernandez, and he will leave the club immediately. We don't know the details of any fee or sell-on clause, percent of future sale, anything like that. Keep in mind, Pau Prim also only had 6 months left on his contract. His renewal process has been very, very difficult. The club have actually been trying to renew his contract now for about 10 months. Since last March until now, they reached an agreement, then he stopped, didn't go to preseason, reached an agreement, didn't. It's been all over the place. It's been very hard for Barcelona. They have tried without a shadow of a doubt. In the end, they couldn't reach an agreement, and he has now left this January to Al Sadd. Again, no details of the deal quite yet known to the media. We'll wait and see what that happens over the next few days. I'm expecting there won't be a transfer fee, probably a percent of a future sale and a sell-on clause, something like that. But Pau Prim and Unai Hernandez both walk away from Barca Athletic. Both, I think there are 2 of the 4 captains as well. I think Pau Prim is the 2nd or 3rd captain of Barca Athletic. So big blow to Alberto Sanchez for his team. 2 very good and useful players, but that's just circle of life, I guess. And the final B team exit is not really an exit, just more so a change of scenery, and that is for Alex Valle. He has now cancelled his loan with Celtic and has joined Como on loan for the rest of the season. We got the here we go from Fabrizio Romano. It is now a done deal. Barcelona have approved it and signed off on it as well. 6 million release clause is still viable for any club in the world. At Celtic, he did all right, but he didn't really play that much, and they're now signing Kieran Tierney as a new left back, so he's going to get next to no minutes. Como came knocking on the door. Cesc Fabregas, of course, the manager. He signed him, but he's playing under Sergio Roberto as well. I think this is a great move for Alex Valle, playing with players that he's used to playing with in a position where they need a coverage, and he probably will become a starter. So keep your eyes on him in Serie A action. Of course, Serie A is better than the Scottish League as well, but he has, of course, made that loan switch mid-season to, of course, better improve his ability and get more minutes as well. Let's now discuss the players that have been rumored to be staying at Barcelona over the past week. The first one up is, of course, Eric Garcia, who was heavily linked to leave Barcelona. Apparently, Como and Girona were very, very close to signing him. He almost reached a verbal agreement with both sides, but in the end, his goal against Benfica and a conversation afterwards with Flick and Deco stopped the entire operation. This is of course confirmed by Fernando Polo, Fabrizio Romano, and also sources in Girona as well. So he will be staying for at least the summer, and in the summer his future will be reassessed again. I think of course with Christensen having one leg, it's very, very important to keep a player like Eric Garcia. Again, not world class, not fantastic, but definitely a fantastic squad player. Right back, center back in the pivot as well, can definitely do a job. We saw how well he did against Valencia. I think him staying is very important, and I also think that in the end the price will be the same from now into the summer as well. Now it was going to be 10 to 15 million, and the summer you probably get the same as well, so no big deal there. But Eric Garcia will be continuing at Barcelona until at least the summer. And the same can be said for also Pablo Torre as well. Roger later from Deportivo came out saying that Pablo Torre is willing to stay and fight for his spot. The youngster believes he can succeed at Barcelona and is confident of it. The club is also not planning to loan or sell him, since the youngster has a low salary and it really matter in terms of FFP. So again, there have been some rumors about him leaving on loan potentially for 6 months, but it's now been officially confirmed that he will stay. Flick wants to keep him. The club are happy for him to stay as well. Very much a similar place to Eric Garcia, where he'll probably leave unfortunately in the summer. I think he's a really good player, but I think, you know what, competition is too crazy, and apparently we want to sign him, Jamal Musiala on top of this as well, so it just doesn't make sense. But Pau Victor will stay until at least summer. Then again, like Eric Garcia, his future will be reassessed then. And lastly, the same can also be said for Pau Victor as well. Gabriel Sainz is reporting that Barcelona aren't contemplating the exit of Pau Victor despite having his few minutes that he's had this season, because Hansi Flick counts on him. So very similar to Pablo Torre and Eric Garcia, an exit for Pau Victor this January is very unlikely, and again his future will be reassessed in the summer. Probably doesn't have a future at the club, but we'll cross that bridge in the summer when we get to it. Let's discuss some contract renewal updates around the first team at Barcelona. We have a lot of big updates. Firstly, quickly get out of the way, John Martin renewed his contract. Whoop-de-doo, no one cares. But of course, Ronald Araujo did sign a new 5-year deal with Barcelona. Well, you could say 5.5-year deal to get to 2031. It was of course a big renewal after him wanting to go to Juventus. The big question of course was during the renewal there was going to be some adjustments to his release clause, and of course what are his wages as well. That is the big question, and the reports did come out. I'm about to absolutely cook this Uruguayan fraud. Mateo Morito came out saying that Araujo's new release clause is 65 million euros for this summer transfer window, and it will increase when the window ends in January, when it goes to January of course, for 80 million euros. So scammed us, actually ridiculously scammed us. The reason for it is of course that if a club comes in, they can activate the release clause, no negotiation with Barcelona. Of course the money will come straight in immediately, no installments as well, which will be huge for Barcelona. But again, for a world-class center back, this is very cheap. Now, Renewals came out saying that when Deco spoke with Araujo about the terms of his new contract, he says that the defender did not know some very important details of the proposal because his agent never informed him of it. Again, his agent is just a Musa Sissoko 2.0. Also, reports came in from Renewals saying that Araujo wants to be an important player, like to be in the XI most of the time and be one of the faces of the team as well. He believes in his capabilities, that he's one of the best center backs in the world and wants to be recognized for that. Deco told him that he's a key player for the future, but Araujo isn't fully convinced of that yet. That's why he wanted the low release clause. The reports also suggest that Araujo, by the way, 300,000 euros a week. Strip this mother trucker as a captain. How dare you? How dare you? This is a Ousmane Dembele 2.0. Of course, this time the club will receive the full money for the release clause. They won't have to split it with Araujo. This is a player that's showing that he is scared, he's a pussy, and he's worried about his future. This is disgusting. I do not blame the club whatsoever. The club have been put in a very delicate situation. They again in the end renewed a player for a very long-term deal, 5.5 years, on good wages. The release clause was the only way to do it. I don't really blame the club too much. In the end, if we were going to sell him this January or in the summer, it probably would be for around 60 million, since he, of course, he had only 1 year left on his deal. And of course, the money coming for the release clause would be straight in the club as well. No installments, no agent fees, none of that crap. How is Araujo this much of a pussy? Is this guy this scared? You are, in a year or two, not only will you be the face of Barcelona, you're going to be the goddamn freaking captain. And you're moving like this. Oh, I want to have a little release clause just in case, you know, I'm kind of scared. I'm going to just take your 300k a week now to stay. This for me screams that, oh, he's going to be earning 300k a week from now until the summer. Some club's going to come and activate his release clause, he's going to bounce. I will guarantee you, any club that activates his release clause, Juventus, PSG, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Arsenal, Man City, United, Chelsea, Liverpool, anyone that comes in and activates it, he's gone. I don't think he'll be like, don't like that project. I like Barcelona. I'm not really don't want to leave Barcelona. He will, even if we win the treble, he will leave. Why? It's not there. It is not there whatsoever. And this is what his legacy is going to be about. The red card against PSG and a fucking shitty release clause. Now, on the release clause, of course, it's been leaked. The club haven't officially announced it. It is now a new model, apparently, for the club. Fernando Polo came out saying that Barcelona had decided that they will no longer disclose a release clause in players' contract. This new approach has already been applied to the two recent renewals, of course, of Araujo and Gerard Martin, and they will do the same for the renewals of Pedri and Gavi in the future. Now, of course, when we always signed a player, we always renewed a player. They would always announce the length of the contract in the release clause, but now they're no longer doing that. I guess they don't want people to know it. If clubs, of course, come in and ask for it, they will confirm it, but they don't want the whole entire world knowing, apparently. It's whatever. It doesn't really bother me, to be honest. But this man is an absolute fraud. I cannot wait for the day that this man leaves the club. Give me my 65 million this summer and get the hell out of here. You can't even pass the ball to save your goddamn life. Unless we win the treble. I don't think we win the treble. This guy's leaving. So basically, Araujo finessed us of 300,000 euros a week for the next 6 months. He also proposed to his girlfriend afterwards as well. Embarrassing. He also came out doing media. Oh, I'm very happy to stay at the club of my life. I want to fight for this badge. Blah, blah, blah. He just wanted the bag. He just wanted the bag. If he survives this summer, I'll hold the L, but I guarantee you, we talked about, of course, beforehand, Vitor Roque, Christensen, Ansu, Eric, all leaving. Add Araujo to this list, because as soon as someone comes in out of that release clause, he is gone quicker than chocolate sitting in the hot sun. He's going to melt away like no tomorrow. So, absolutely embarrassing from Araujo's side. From the club side, I understand their point of view of why they've done this and agree to it, but wait and see what happens in the future. But Araujo has a very, very easy way out of Barcelona, so only time will tell if a team comes in and does activate that release clause. Now, along with the contract renewals of Araujo and Gerard Martin being done last week, this week will be a key week for renewals, as well as 3 players are set to extend their contracts with Barcelona. First one up is Pedri. Deal done. Full agreement has been reached, verbal agreement as well. He will sign his deal tailor end to the end of this week. Probably could be announced by the time I upload this video as well. 5-year deal, 1 billion euro release clause. Take notes, Araujo. This is how you commit yourself to Barcelona. Of course, signing Pedri was absolutely huge. We'll wait and see what the wages are following the actual renewal taking place. But again, Pedri, full agreement reached, 5-year deal, 1 billion euro release clause. He will be staying. Si queda. The next renewal that will be happening this week as well is for Gavi. Same exact contract as Pedri, 5-year deal, 1 billion euro release clause. Full verbal agreement has been reached, and he will sign at the tailor end of this week, and it will be made official as well. Of course, renewing these 2 players in Pedri and Gavi that are pillars and faces of Barcelona are absolutely fantastic. And again, he commits his future, unlike Araujo, billion euro release clause, 5 or 6 year deal as well. Wait and see what the actual year is. There's been a lot of reports saying that's going to be 5 years. Some people saying it's going to be 6 years until 2031. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. And another surprise, you could say, the final renewal that has been agreed and that will be signed this week alongside Pedri and Gavi is Inigo Martinez. Barcelona will execute the clause in his contract to extend his contract for 1 more season, although it could be automatically extended. The club have decided to just extend it themselves. They're very happy with Inigo, and he will sign a new deal again, tailor end of this week, alongside Pedri and Gavi. This comes as no surprise. It was going to happen anyways, but the fact that the club have activated it before he reached the certain number of games played and all that sort of stuff shows the club's commitment to the player. And again, while he's injured as well, this of course get him on the side of Barcelona heavily. So 5 renewals completed in the past 2 weeks. Shout out to Deco. He's done some absolutely fantastic work signing Araujo, Pedri, and Gavi on renewals. 3 huge renewals. Inigo, of course, was easy. Gerard Martin was, easy work as well. But having these renewals done before the summer is absolutely fantastic, and of course gives Barcelona a lot of leeway to focus now on the summer transfer window and start planning for it. But again, shout out to Deco. He's done some fantastic work over the past few weeks in regards to renewals. Now, following the renewal of Gerard Martin, Ronald Araujo, Pedri Gonzalez, Pablo Gavi, and Inigo Martinez, the final renewal that Deco has on his agenda is for the renewal of Frenkie de Jong. Again, there's been no updates over the past year and a half. We've offered him 2 renewals and he has not responded to either of them. Didn't say yes, didn't say no, just completely ignored it. Now, firstly, Vitor Roque came out saying that Etihad, of course, the sporting director Ramon Planes wants to sign Frenkie de Jong this summer after, of course, signing Unai Hernandez. Again, Saudi club, however, they'll give us some good money if, of course, Frenkie de Jong does not want to stay at Barcelona. We've heard no renewal updates, remember, on Frenkie de Jong whatsoever. Until today, we got some big news on Frenkie. Fernando Poto at Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Frenkie de Jong is enjoying a great moment at Barcelona after going through some tough times for several months. The player is now more open to renewing his contract with the club. Frankie's even mentioned to this willingness to renew in the locker room, a piece of news that has been met with a mix of joy and also some caution by the club. So again, the club are going to be like, okay, you want to stay, great, but why aren't you talking to us? But now Frenkie is making it clear in the locker room that he doesn't want to stay at Barcelona. Now, he was asked on his future after the match against Valencia. He said, look, I feel very good at Barcelona. I'm just focused on the present, and then it will be time to discuss everything. That's kind of been his same answer over the past few weeks, but big renewal list for Barcelona as well. Again, we'll wait and see. Nothing is closed. Nothing is done yet. I don't know if there's been any meetings or discussions, but now we know that Frenkie de Jong is willing to continue and commit to the future of Barcelona. I know a lot of people are going to be disappointed by this. Look, I don't think there'll be any pay rise or anything like that. I think he'll earn a fair wage, definitely under Araujo's 300,000 euros per week. But having a player like Frenkie de Jong is fantastic. He's a world-class player. He can play multiple positions in the midfield, and also saves Barcelona going out there and signing a replacement as well. So I think this is a very big renewal for Barcelona. Again, we'll wait and see how things do turn out. This is the final renewal that Deco needs to work on before the summer transfer window hits. But this could be a saga for May and June. I think Frenkie might wait until the end of the season and see what Barcelona win and see where his position is in the team, as well as he needs a starting lineup, bench player, touching the starting lineup. That will of course have a big impact on Frenkie's future as well. He's one of the captains of the club, so we'll wait and see what happens. But again, big renewal here on the table for Barcelona that they do hope to complete, and we'll have to wait and see how things do develop. And the final contract renewal update is on the contract renewal of Raphinha. Now, he has a contract until 2027, which means that we need to renew his contract before next summer, not 2025, but 2026. This will be a renewal that Barcelona will focus on probably after the summer, I would say. But since this man's on a Ballon d'Or-esque campaign, the club want to probably work on this even earlier than expected. Fernando Poto from Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona are clear about what needs to be done. Offer Raphinha a renewal. This will happen once they finalize renewals for other players. So once they finish Pedri, Gavi, Inigo, probably Frenkie as well. They'll probably do Frenkie and Rafa at the same time. Koundé needs a new deal as well. His contract expires in 2027, very similar to Raphinha as well. All those economic levers signings are now coming to the tail end of their deals, so they're probably going to be next in line for new contracts at the club. But since Raphinha is done, of course, exceptional this season, the club will have to give him a renewal probably before the summer window so that they can fare off any strong interest for him. But the club do have a lot of control in its future. Two-year deal left. They can, of course, make all the key decisions there. But Raphinha will be next on the list for renewals following Frenkie de Jong and, of course, those core players of Pedri, Gavi, and Araujo. Now, speaking on Rafa, Fernando Polo also came out saying that Raphinha has been taking a role of a true leader in the Barcelona dressing room this season, with Ter Stegen suffering from a serious injury, as well as both Araujo and Frenkie de Jong being absent due to recovering from their injuries. Raphinha stepped up to lead the team both in the locker room and on the field as well. He now delivers the pre-match speeches, gathers the team to discuss important matters, and motivates them during tough moments. Shout out Rafa, man. This remontada for him has been crazy. I never doubted him. I always knew the ability of him. I loved when we signed him back a few years ago as well. So if you ride with Rafa, you're an OG, you're a good one. But again, he's done absolutely wonder works this season. But the job is not done yet. We need more trophies, and hopefully he will lead the team alongside the other captains to those trophies. Let's now discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past week or so. We do have a big update on the stadium situation where we're going to be playing over the next few months. Now, Alex Pentel from Relivo came out saying that both Barcelona and Licmac, of course, the construction company that's building the new Camp Nou, believe that reopening in time for the Clásico in May is a realistic goal, but Barcelona are also preparing an alternative plan in case they can't return to their home stadium before next season. The club are considering playing air matches against Real Madrid in the European Stadium. Montjuic will likely be not available because it's reserved for the Rolling Stone concerts. The club isn't only thinking about moving the Clásico outside of Spain, but also La Liga games against Villarreal and the potential Champions League semi-final as well. The idea of playing home games in Europe is still in its early stages, and they would need to find a stadium that works in terms of dates, capacity, and then get the necessary approvals as well. Now, Candacer came out saying that Barcelona are evaluating the possibility of playing the next Clásico in major stadiums as well, though the first choice is Spotify Camp Nou. The club is considering moving the match outside of Spain if renovations aren't completed in time. Now, Javier Tebas, the president of La Liga, did confirm that he will definitely approve this as long as Real Madrid approve it. Now, you can't just bring Real Madrid to, Wembley, for example, to play a game, they have to, of course, approve it. So if they say yes, Javier Tebas will not stand in the way of that. Now, Mundo Deportivo also came out saying that Barcelona is also now negotiating with the content promoters to potentially finish the season at the Montjuic Stadium if they can't return to the Camp Nou, specifically to accommodate the concert schedule for May, including a 3-day concert series featuring Rolling Stone. So now the club first they want to negotiate with the city to try and move the concert date or try to find some sort of accommodation that Barcelona can play and they can have their concert as well. It's just much easier for Barcelona to stay at the Montjuic. We're already used to it. The fans again are used to going there as well. That's the most easy and likely scenario. Now, in terms of stadiums where we can move to, if we do end up moving, there's of course a lot of options. There's Wembley, Chase Stadium, Real Stadium, Girona Stadium, or Espanyol Stadium, of course staying in Catalonia, the Metropolitano, the home of Atletico, Sanchez Pizjuan, the home of Sevilla, Marseille Stadium, Lyon Stadium, or Stade Etienne Stadium as well. So there is a lot of options on the table that Barcelona can assess in the event we can, of course, stay at the Camp Nou or stay in Montjuic. But the big update did of course come in from Fernando Polo recently, and he came out saying that after the board's meeting yesterday afternoon at the club's offices, the club insisted that the Spotify Camp Nou is the only option to host the last 2 La Liga matches against Real Madrid and Villarreal. Barca reiterates that Lickmack construction guarantees access to the stadium and the completion of the first 2 tiers, allowing for a capacity of 60,000 spectators to attend those games. So they had a meeting, Barcelona, with Lickmack, and Lickmack guaranteed them that they will be done before May. So looks like no stadium change will be needed. Again, the club will probably in the just in case negotiate a deal, hopefully with Montjuic, to try and the city council that of course run the Montjuic Stadium to maybe move those Rolling Stone concerts, to try to find some sort of accommodation and just to have that in the back pocket just in case. But Lickmack guarantees that Barcelona will be back at the Spotify Camp Nou this season, very, very likely before the month of May. And also, of course, speaking on the Clasico coming up, we of course going to have a sponsor on the shirt, and right now we are reporting, and right now we are hearing that Ed Sheeran is the leading candidate to be the sponsor. Fernando Polo came out saying that Ed Sheeran wants to feature on Barcelona's shirt for the next Clasico. Remember the artists do have to pay Barcelona because they're going to get so much marketing and so much advertising and earn so much money, so they do have to pay Barcelona to be on it, and Ed Sheeran is showing interest. Of course, he is the owner of Ipswich Town, the Premier League club, so of course a very, very big artist as well, one of the biggest to ever grace the music world, you could say, and he is of course one of the candidates to be the sponsor. We of course now had Drake, we had Rosalia, we had Rolling Stone, Carlo G, and of course Coldplay, and now next up looks to be Ed Sheeran. And the final topic that I want to discuss for an end of this video is in regards to the registration case of Dani Olmo that is still very much in effect. Javier Tebas, the La Liga president, was doing some media, and he said we are still against the registration of Dani Olmo, and we have evidence, and we think that we have a chance to cancel his registration. He's of course very confident on his side. I'm not too bothered about this. I think Barcelona's case is absolutely fantastic, as Ronald did hinted at a few weeks ago in his press conference after the Spanish Super Cup. I think Tebas here trying to maybe do a little bit of a scare tactic, trying to of course build confidence in his side, his case in the media, but I don't think he has anything really. I think Barcelona played this to absolute perfection. I think Javier Tebas will fold at the helm as per usual, the absolute twat, the absolute cunt like him. So I'm not worried whatsoever. But again, this case is far from over, and we'll wait and see how things do develop over the next few weeks. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past week or so. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, make sure you drop a like down below, and of course in the comments down below as well. Let me know your thoughts on everything we discussed. Main thing I want to first, of course, the thoughts on Marcus Rashford. Think that Barcelona will sign him this January. Secondly, on those renewals, are you happy? Are you worried? What are your thoughts on the clauses of Araujo's contract? Would you renew Frenkie or not? Thirdly, your thoughts on the sale of Ansu and Christensen. Think they will both happen at some point or not? And finally, your thoughts on the case of Dani Olmo's registration. Are you confident? Are you on the side of Laporta? Or are you still a bit worried that in the end his registration could be revoked? And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barca.